All right, first grade, today we are working on Chapter 10, Lesson 4. And I need you to make sure that you have a pencil and your math book. And you're opened up to page 731. That's 731. If you need time to get there, pause the video and unpause when you're ready to get started. All right, so what we are going to do today is we are going to take these 3D shapes that we have learned about, these three-dimensional shapes, and we are going to combine them and make different shapes out of them. We're kind of going to stack them like we would stack blocks in our classroom. So we're going to look at these shapes that they have made, these towers, if you will, and we are going to figure out, well, what shapes did they use to make them? So let's see, what do we see on the bottom here? What shape do you see? Let's look at the face. What shape is that face? It's a square. So what does that tell you? Which shape is this? It's a cube. So I'm going to circle cube because that was one of the shapes that they used. What's the other shape? What shape is sitting on top here? Is it a rectangular prism or a cone? It definitely looks like an ice cream cone to me, so we're going to circle cone. So there we go. Those are the two shapes that they used to make their tower. Let's do the same thing down here. I want you to try this one. Which two shapes did they use? Your options are rectangular prism, cylinder, and cube. Circle the ones that they used. All right, so let's see. I see on the bottom here, this shape has the face of a rectangle. So I know that is a rectangular prism. And then this one on the top has two faces. I see one on the top, one on the bottom, because it's sitting flat on this rectangular prism. That's really important. And then it has no vertices, so that is a cylinder. How did you do? Does yours match mine? If it doesn't, go ahead and make it match mine now. I'm going to clear my page. We're going to turn to the next page and keep going. All right, so it says you can put together three-dimensional shapes to make other composite shapes, just like we did with our 2D shapes and we made composite shapes. We can do the same thing with 3D shapes, but they look a little bit more like towers. Like if you would build with maybe wooden blocks or foam blocks that you have at home. All right, so number 1 says circle the shapes that they used to make this composite shape. So what do we see? We can start at the top. What shape do you see up here at the top? Has a vertex. Has a flat face because it's sitting on top of another shape. It is a cone, so go ahead and circle your cone. Then, what's underneath the cone? What do you see? It's a cylinder. And then on the very bottom, I see that this face is showing me a rectangle. So this is a rectangular prism. I want you to go ahead and do numbers 2 and 3 by yourself. Circle all of the shapes that they used to make each composite shape, and then we're going to review how you did. So go ahead and pause the video and unpause when you've finished. All right, so you should have done numbers 2 and 3 all by yourself already. So let's see, on the top of my shape for number 2, I see a cone. And this face is a square, so I know that that is a cube. So there we go. Those are my two shapes that they used to make that composite shape. Down here, I see a rectangle face, so rectangular prism. On the top here, I see a square face for a cube. And over here, I see a cylinder. So that's what yours should have looked like. How'd you do? All right, let's see. Let's move to our problem-solving page. All right, here's where things are going to get a little bit trickier. So number 8 says, how many faces are there all together in the shape used to make the composite shape above. So this composite shape, how many faces are there all together? So we're going to have to break it down by shape. So how many faces are there in a cone? Well, I know that a cone has one face. So I'm going to put my number 1 over here. I'm going to write an addition sentence. How many faces does a cube have? There's a cube underneath. How many faces does a cube have? Well, a cube I know has 6 faces. So I'm going to write a number 6. So 1 plus 6. So how many faces does my composite shape have all together? Well, I know 6 plus 1 more equals 7. So there are 7 faces in my composite shape altogether. All right. Number 9, circle the shapes that you can stack on a cube. Or no, listen again. Sorry. Circle the shapes you can stack a cube on top of. Explain to a friend why you cannot stack a cube on the other shapes. So we're looking for shapes that we can put a cube on top. Could we do that for this cylinder? Yes, we can because it has a flat face up top. So we can circle the cylinder. Can we stack a cube on top of another cube? Sure, it has a flat surface on the top. It has a face. Can we stack a cube on top of a cone? No, because first grade, if I try to balance it here, it's just going to fall right off. And I can't turn this cone upside down because then it won't stand up by itself because of the point. So I cannot stack a cube on top of my cone. Can I stack it on top of this object? We didn't really go over this one. This one's called a sphere, which just looks like any ball that you've probably ever seen. Can I stack a cube on top of this sphere? Nope, it's going to roll right off. What about this rectangular prism? Can I stack a cube on top? Sure, there's a flat face on top. That is why I can stack it on. All right, let's go back and look at our independent practice for today. See what you're going to be doing. You're going to circle the shapes that they used to make each composite shape. So you're going to look at the composite shape and circle all of the shapes that you see that they used. And then down here for number 7, it says circle the shape that is not used to make the composite shape. So here's your composite shape. Which one of these is not used? Once you're finished, you are all done with math today, and I will see you for math tomorrow.